From Russia to Belize.
I won!
Australia to France.
There is more and more very, very good French player.
Germany to Ukraine. South Africa to the USA. It's a global battlefield right here in the heart of Las Vegas.
European players are usually really much more aggressive.
6 continents, dozens of countries.
Let's go, Belize!
Brazil! 42 players left and 2 Brazilians on center stage. This is truly the World Series of Poker. Welcome to the Rio in the heart of Las Vegas for continuing coverage of Day 7 of the World Series of Poker main event presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. The field in the Amazon room is dwindling, which means the payouts are increasing. 42 players left in this 2011 main event.
We got our buddy Debo in there. We got the energy dome working.
Former rafting guide Brian Devonshire has chipped up rapidly.
He's a local favorite, and I believe Las Vegas counts as a separate nation.
German Pius Heinz was once a chip leader.
Oh, man, he's probably just 1 6-bet away from being chip leader again.
Russian Andrei Patachuk is a sports columnist in his spare time.
Often called the Norman Chad of Moscow, might be the smartest guy in the room then.
And at the featured table, this international field has 2 Brazilians, each an amateur auto body shop owner Fabio Souza.
I took my car into him 3 weeks ago. Cannot get it back.
And the chip leader businessman Hilton Laborda.
The man in the green cape has the most chips. It doesn't seem possible.
The broad international representation is reflected in the leaderboard. 5 countries in the top 8, with Brazil in the lead, Frenchman Guillaume Darcourt and American Ryan Lenahan, both with over 10 million.
You cannot ignore John Paul Kelly, Britain's J.P. Kelly. He's got 2 bracelets, and he's got a ton of talent.
And Lamb off the leaderboard now sits with a solid stack of $6.5 million. Action on Darcourt on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Pocket Cam, 9-5 of clubs.
He created his own company when he was 20, selling advertising for TV and radio. Now specializes in playing 9-5 with a big stack.
And raising with those rags to $175,000 over to Chilean pro Nicolas Fierro with ace-queen.
He finished 3rd at a no-limit event at this year's World Series.
And he makes the call to Irish son of a poker player, Owen O'D.
His father, Donica, an Irish poker legend, 1 bracelet and 7 World Series final tables, including twice at the main event.
Grandpa O'D also played, and he makes a raise to $500,000 with 9-8 off. Folded over to the big blind, Anton Makiewski. He folds, so back to Darcourt now.
I don't know if the French language version of Super System addresses 9-5 out of position.
He does make the call for $325 more.
At 3.3 in total.
I know the English version of Super System addresses Ace-Queen because Doyle Brunson hates the hand.
Fierro has OD covered.
I call.
Darcourt has everyone at this table covered. Fierro calls.
And OD thinking, I've got 9-8 off. I wasn't looking for 2 callers.
Yeah, the re-steal attempt is a fail. Jack Queen Deuce. Fierro feels better about his hand now with top pair, top kicker. Darcourt checked. Fierro checks.
Top pair, top kicker checks. Go get a haircut then.
OD with a gut shot. And he checks. Turn card is a 10, and OD turns the queen high straight. Darcourt checks again. Fierro with a Broadway draw checks.
Again, I don't know what Fierro is in the hand for. OD knows he's in great shape unless someone is slow playing a bigger straight.
OD, no check this time. Will try to earn some chips with his straight. $650,000. Darcourt quickly folds.
Fierro top pair with a gut shot to the nut straight. As it turns out, he's dead to a king, but he's got to play, no?
He does make the call. A chance to overtake OD here. River card. 7 of clubs does nothing for Fierro. And Fierro checks. I don't know if OD can get any more from him, but he has to try. A lot of green chips. $1.6 million. That's about half of Fierro's remaining stack, and it looks to have him a little uncomfortable. Fierro's girlfriend lending her support here.
Listen, series king or a six bluff.
Isn't nice hand English for I fold?
I thought so.
Maybe not.
Something lost in the translation. Fierro finally kicks it in. And boy, does he want to see OD's cards. Good fold by the Chilean.
OD's father did not encourage him to play poker, but hey, it's in the genes.
The poker boom happened several years ago, yet the game continues to grow. How else to explain the continued influx of 20-somethings, as well as the impressive international representation here at the World Series? Norman, the game may have the same rules all over the globe, but there are many ways to translate success at the main event.
The leaderboard on day 7 reads like a currency exchange booth. Right now, Brazilian chips have the most value, which shows you that anything is possible in this global poker economy. In fact, these days, poker knows no boundaries worldwide. 6 continents were represented in this main event. So next year, I say, Antarctica, let's do it! You're used to cold decks, so what could go wrong in Las Vegas?
Antarctica? Only penguins live there full-time, but some are over 21, so who knows? Folded to Ben Lamb with pocket kings. Lamb with a raise to 170,000. Guillaume Darcourt with ace-jack offsuit.
He won the 2010 WPT title in Romania without pink hair in a penguin-free field.
Darcourt with a re-raise to 440,000.
Darcourt is sending a message to Lamb. I've seen you bully everyone pre-flop. You're not bullying me.
Darcourt has gotten the better of Ben lately. The button and small blind fold. JP Kelly in the big blind fold. So back to Lamb now.
Raise.
Ben Lamb announces raise. So a 4-bet to 1,100,000.
Lamb sends a message back to Darcourt. Listen, you pink-haired pretender. I've got a hand once in a while. Darcourt, of course, does have a bigger stack than Ben.
Ben picked up kings against Darcourt's aces a short time ago at this table and lost the minimum to the Frenchman. Darcourt calls for 660,000 more.
Darcourt telling Lamb, I've got position, and you might have a problem.
2.4 million in the middle. Here's the flop. 10 Jack Queen, a pair of jacks for Darcourt, each with a straight draw.
That's the type of flop that's got to worry each one about the other.
Action on Lamb.
1.2.
1.2 million, half the pot.
Darcourt seems like he's dug in for the long haul in this hand. Middle pair, a gut shot to the nut straight.
Darcourt with a lot of those purple chips, a minimum raise to 2.4 million.
This is a tricky spot for Ben Lamb. Darcourt could have a set, or he could have ace-king, and Darcourt could bust him.
Ben Lamb at a critical moment of his main event.
Small in.
Moves all in.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Lamb Darcourt has turned into Hagler Hearns. What a newfound rivalry.
How can Darcourt call this, and he doesn't, and Ben Lamb takes a huge pot.
Good read. That's why you want Ben Lamb in your corner these days.
What a shifting of the tide with that hand. Ben Lamb plays his way back onto the leaderboard with 10.6 million chips. Good for third place. Darcourt's stack plummets by 35% as he tries to avoid a complete meltdown.
Is he bluffing? Could be. German shepherds, huh? I don't trust Germans. 2 cards. Could mean anything. Let's raise the stakes, frighten them off. No one to play with? Darn.
So play online at partypoker.com. It's fun, it's easy, it's the world's largest poker room.
All right, okay.
Back at the 2011 World Series of Poker main event presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. A field of 6,865 started. We're now down to only 42 players. For a report from the outer tables, let's check in with Kara Scott.
Things are changing quickly out here as players are busting out, and we're having to rebalance the tables. We're down to 3 outer tables plus the 2 features. When we get to 36, we'll be breaking another one out here, and when we get to 27 players, we'll be shuffling it up with a redraw. At the moment, the chip leader for the outer tables is Phil Collins. He's a professional poker player we saw quite a bit of at our feature table. He's closely followed by Andrei Pataichuk. He's a Russian player, and he's at about 10.8 million at the moment.
Add one of those outer tables. Tri Huing has a big decision with top 2 pair as Nelson Robinson just pushed with an open-ended straight draw and over 3.5 million chips.
Robinson puts the pressure on Huing. Hard to fold top 2, but this is for most of his stack as well.
Must be ahead here. There's no way I'm behind. Like a combo draw or something? I call.
With the 2 pair, Huing makes the call to put Robinson at risk.
Robinson pushed on the draw. The 25-year-old from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, against the 33-year-old from Vancouver.
Robinson's first cash of this World Series. The turn card is a queen pairs Robinson, and that doubles his outs.
Yeah, Robinson just picked up a lot more ways to survive. 16 outs.
The river card is one of those outs. Robinson wins it with a better 2 pair, earning him 7.5 million chips.
Huing down to 8 big blinds.
Ship it. Oh, what? How much is it?
Almost all that you have, Mr. Huing. What a boost to Robinson.
You say drinks on me?
Nelson Robinson has a busy schedule here at the main event. Poker player by day, lead singer of the Black Crowes by night.
All right, let's get back to the featured table. The chip leader at this table and in the room is Hilton Laborda. Norman, imagine the flags people would wear next year if he won it all.
Lon, if this guy wins the main event, I'm switching to video poker.
Folded to John Esposito. He is hung with so many legends of the game through his years. Queen Jack of Diamonds on the Jack Link Speed Turkey hole cam.
Yeah, if this guy wins the main event, Lon, Las Vegas will celebrate. An old school rounder you gotta love.
He raises to $175,000. David Doc Sands and his girlfriend Erica Motino are still in the event. He folds to Ryan Lenahan, King Queen off.
When Lenahan rests his left hand on his right shoulder, he seldom raises. He's saying, I come in peace.
And he does just call peacefully to Fabio Sosa in the small blind with deuces.
Mowing.
And he moves all in for over 1.6 million.
That's an all-in that doesn't want any calls.
Big blind John Hewitt folds. Back to Esposito now. And his Queen Jack into the muck. Now Lenahan.
One more to get by for Sosa.
It's 1.6.
Not quite 15% of Lenahan's stack.
Call.
I knew he smooth called me with a hand here.
So Sosa at risk with his deuces. That he's in a coin flip for his tournament life.
Sosa, one of the 2 Brazilian amateurs here at the feature table. The other one, Laborda, is the chip leader of the main event. Sosa just hoping to survive.
Sosa hanging with his support group on the rail. Here's the flop. He's at risk. 10-10-4. Sosa still alive.
You get the feeling these moments mean more to Sosa than most of the remaining field.
Turn card is a 7. Sosa still good, but not out of danger.
The Brazilian still has to dodge a lot of cards. A king, queen, 4 or 7 would knock out Fabio Sosa.
The river card is a 7, and that counterfeits Sosa's deuces. Lenahan's king kicker will play a heartbreaking end to this Brazilian's main event. Sosa, 42nd place, wins over $196,000.
One Brazilian amateur embraces the other.
Sosa, the recreational player, chipped up steadily in the main event, but it all comes to a screeching halt at the hands of Ryan Lenahan, who is back in the main event chip lead.
Good playing with you.
Well, history is repeating itself. This time it's Erica Motino who joins her boyfriend David Sands at the feature table. Main event dating game part 2.
7 just double. Oh, I'm supposed to get a kiss. He wants me to get a kiss.
Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it! Ah, I hate to see that.
Thank you, thank you. All right.
Time for work.
Sands and Motino, just one of a handful of notable pairs at this main event. Doyle Brunson didn't cash, but his son Todd did. 05 world champ Joe Hashem busted early, but his brother Tony still has chips.
I guess David and Erica are the best looking pair in that group, edging out Doyle and Todd Brunson.
I'd probably have to give her some extra equity or something. She knows my game too well.
Wouldn't that be awesome if you guys played heads up, she just ran you over, like just destroyed you?
Happy couple sit with the two shortest stacks at this featured table. Motino with about 600,000 more. Those are pocket queens for Hilton Laborda.
By the way, not only is America's couple at the same table again, now they're next to each other. If they make the November 9, I assume they'll be sitting in each other's lap.
Laborda, literally and figuratively carrying the flag for Brazil, makes a raise to 190,000. John Esposito with king-queen suited makes the call. Motino on the button, lays it down.
You know, in Monopoly, sometimes you combine your properties. Can they pool their chips together?
No, they cannot. Sands folds over to Ryan Lenahan in the small blind with two black aces.
He was a walk-on on the LSU track and field team for 2 years, but gave up running in favor of sitting at the poker table and getting dealt pocket aces.
The top stack in the tournament, a re-raise to 625,000. Laborda just 5,000 below Lenahan.
You're virtually identical big stacks, so this is a danger zone for the Brazilian.
And a call from Laborda, so the action back to Esposito.
He won a limit hold'em bracelet in 1999. Espo does not have a big stack and does not have a big hand here. Just to call another 435 is 12% of his stack.
And the two biggest stacks in the room already in the pot.
You know what?
And so Esposito will exit.
Good decision.
Here we go. The two big stacks in the 2011 main event squaring off. The flop, 7-9-5. Lenahan's aces hold their big advantage. But he checks it to Laborda.
Lenahan wants to play the trapping game, and it looks like Laborda might oblige.
Well, Laborda has not shied away from being aggressive. That's 755,000.
Lenahan looks like an online guy, but he prefers playing live. Laborda looks like a man, but he's actually a national flag with lips.
Lenahan with the best hand. Just makes the call.
No check raise from Lenahan.
All right, so the turn now. Tray of spades puts a third spade out there, gives Lenahan the nut flush draw. He checks again.
I assume Lenahan is still trapping.
Laborda checks behind him.
Laborda curiously slows down.
River card. Jack of hearts misses Laborda. Lenahan checks. They both check. Queens aren't going to do it. Ryan Lenahan will take that pot.
But Ryan Lenahan didn't make much off that hand. Laborda let off the hook.
The two big stacks in the room playing cautiously against each other.
Played it back. Thanks to two aces.
So Laborda versus Lenahan was flag versus hoodie, which raises the question, what should be worn at a poker table?
The proper attire for poker is anything.
Not what I'm wearing.
I think you should just keep it tasteful.
I want to see more than a few people wearing sweatpants.
On different days, I might feel like suiting up, and on a different day, I might feel like coming in basketball shorts and a tee.
Today, unfortunately, I was told I had to wear a nice shirt.
A hoodie and an iPod, sunglasses.
Maybe a hoodie in case it gets cold.
Hoodies when I'm cold, but other than that, that's it.
I don't want my mother or father to see me on television without the proper attire. So those are the only times I suck it up.
Not what you see out there, that's for sure.
If you're online, you can play in your birthday suit for all I care. But in public, please remember you're in public.
All right, let's get to the secondary table. Brian Devonshire opened the action with King Jack of clubs under the gun with a raise to 210,000. Action on Ben Lamb with Queen 10 of hearts. And Lamb comes along. Darkour can't play this time. Nicolas Fierro, Queen 5 of diamonds.
This table gets about a C- for attire. T-shirts, hoodies, and a San Francisco Giants jersey brings down the grade.
Watch your mouth, boy. A re-raise to 555,000 to Owen O'D.
That's a feisty 3-bet from Fierro.
O'D lays it down. J.P. Kelly gets out of the way.
There was a time where you'd wear a coat and tie when you got into an airplane. That's stupid. But a coat and tie at a poker table, I like that.
Barnhart folds his small blind, and the big blind, Anton Makievsky, 9-6 of diamonds.
9-6 suited, 2 raises in front of him, and he's thinking.
In the big blind. Fierro made the last raise to over $500,000.
All in.
And Makievsky moves all in for over $3.7 million. He saw a lot of chips out there, Norman.
That move is audacious. A 4-bet all in with 9-6.
Devo and Lamb folded now. Fierro. Oh, yeah, gotta fold. And what a play by Makievsky.
My goodness. Scratch Makievsky off the home game list, Lon.
Tempting fate and some bigger stacks with 9-6 suited.
Head's still busy exploding. Huh? My head is still busy exploding.
Welcome back to the Rio. Day 7 continues here at the 2011 main event. 41 players left, each guaranteed almost $200,000, but they all know that $8.7 million awaits the winner.
I'm still shivering over Anton Makievsky, 4-betting all in with 9-6. Squeeze play of the year.
Indeed. What we have seen from the Ukrainian has told us he has some great reads. Hilton Laborda with ace-8 of hearts.
By the way, any table in which anyone is wearing a flag gets an F for a tire.
A raise under the gun to 220. John Esposito with queen-jack of hearts.
Espo dresses like a poker player, gambler, golfer.
He'll try again. He's been raised out of the pot a couple of times recently. And we saw the piece on fashion, Norman, and sad to say that Esposito with that golf shirt is the height of sartorial splendor at this table. All right, folded around to Martin Stashko from the Czech Republic. Pocket deuces.
Stashko going with the rare T-shirt over the short-sleeve collared shirt. They say fashion travels west. It's probably huge in Trinity.
Call. And he calls.
He reminds me of Robin Williams in Moscow on the Hudson.
So 3 players will see this flop. 4 tray ace. Stashko picks up a wheel draw. He checks. Laborda got top pair.
I would have bet Stashko's hand. I would bet Laborda's hand now.
But Laborda checks, and Esposito checks.
If I were Espo, I just would have mucked.
Tray of spades on the turn. Laborda still ahead with aces up now. Stashko with straight and flush draws.
Can't we put a straight flush draw alert on the screen like that stat alert ESPN loves to put up?
Stashko with the lesser 2 pair bets $285,000.
Take that, Cape Laborda. Another reason to hate the weak ace. Laborda has no idea where he is in the hand right now. He's ahead.
Laborda is ahead and just makes the call as Esposito gets out of the way quickly. So heads up to the river. It is a 5, and there's the wheel for Stashko. Laborda second best again. It's not his night.
Stashko, one of the older players left in the main event at 35.
And he bets it $675,000.
What do you do now with aces up?
You take a very close look at your opponent.
Well, indeed, Laborda gazing longingly at Stashko. Laborda wondering if it's a bluff.
Laborda started the hand with over $10 million, makes the call, and he will give away some chips to the Czech Republic.
What's the Czech word for boha?
I don't know what Laborda saw to make him call, but it shrinks his stack a little more. And the under-the-radar Martin Stashko with more than 6 million chips now in the main event.
Yeah, he's sitting on 60 big blinds. That's pretty healthy.
Yeah, about $1 million above the current chip average for Martin Stashko. We now take a quick look at the 3 outer tables. Phil Collins continues to play and run well.
He says he's playing relaxed, and he looks relaxed with 10 million chips.
Belize's Bob Bunara is boisterous, but his chips are quiet today.
Yeah, down to 16 big blinds. He doesn't have talking chips.
And as expected, Ben Lamb a factor once again.
Looks so trusting, plays so tricky.
Back at the secondary featured table, the seat next to Darkour now empty. That used to belong to Lamb. As players are eliminated, the officials do rebalance the tables, so Lamb has been moved. 2 aces for Brian Devonshire.
Devonshire once had aspirations in baseball as a pitcher, but blew his arm out in high school.
He said he's having a once-in-a-lifetime experience, enjoying every moment of this main event. And with the aces, he raises to $230,000. Next in line, Scott Schwalek with 9-6 off from the button, and he folds. Guillaume Darcourt with 2 kings.
And what a bad time for 2 kings. Darcourt in position to lose most of his stack here.
A re-raise from Darcourt to 475, and another matchup of big hands for Darcourt.
Well, we have seen such pre-flop aggression lately. If you're Darcourt, there's no reason to believe that if there were a 4-bet from Devonshire, that would mean pocket aces.
Devonshire pulling his original raise back in.
Here comes the Devo fastball.
There you go, the 4-bet to $1,000,001.
Darcourt's got Devonshire covered. Doubt he'll just call the re-raise here.
So you fans at home think it's easy to play big hands, huh?
I'm on in.
Here we go.
Call.
Devo calls all in his aces against Darcourt's kings.
Devonshire looking for a big double up. Darcourt staring at just 21 big blinds if he loses here.
Devonshire in line to make 8 million chips.
What go? What big? What big?
And the flop, Trey Queen, no threat to the aces. Darcourt needs some help.
Devonshire more dominating with that flop.
Turn card another queen. Devonshire a card away from doubling through Darcourt.
Darcourt's got to have a king. Devonshire on the cusp of 8 million chips.
The river card. The 10 of hearts gives the hand to Brian Devonshire. What a blow to the Frenchman.
Cover? How much?
Just under 4.
Darcourt's smooth main event journey just hit a big cold deck in the road.
Devo's fans having fun. Darcourt is not. After losing 2/3 of his chips, he now sits with less than half the chip average. For Devonshire, a key double up to 8.1 million, and that's worthy of several high fives.
I think that headgear can double his trash pails.
Well, the Frenchman knows he still has some room to play, but time is running short. The mouse gave way to the felt at the 10K six-handed no-limit hold'em event as 2 tough online pros battled heads up for the bracelet. In the end, Joe Ebanks defeated Chris Moorman to win the title, along with the first $1 million payday of the 2011 World Series. Ebanks banked over $1.1 million and his first piece of jewelry.
It's something I've been working for 5 years of my life, and it's never happened, so it's great.
Ebanks joins a select group this year. Just 3 events have first-place prizes of more than $1 million.
Of course, the largest payout in World Series history, Jamie Gold in the 06 main event, $12 million.
And I want to mention that Phil Hellmuth had his first $1 million payout of his career. Second place in the Poker Players Championship providing that. One player who knows something about success in the main event is Owen O'D, whose even-keeled personality is definitely an asset.
Owen O'D from Dublin, Ireland. I think I'm pretty good at reading people, like, you know, kind of like picking off tells. I'm pretty kind of relaxed at the table. I don't really get too impatient. I think, you know, some people, they lose, like, you know, a huge part of their stack and they kind of blow up a bit. Kind of would never really do that. So pretty kind of disciplined in that area.
He learned to play poker by watching late-night poker on British TV. Frankly, he shouldn't even have been up that late.
Action here at the secondary feature table on Scott Schwalek. Ace-8 offsuit.
He learned to play poker the old-fashioned way, online.
A raise to $220,000. Darcourt will sit this one out. Nicolas Fierro in the small blind lays his hand down to the big blind. Owen O'D and the Irishman with the Jack Link's beef jerky wild card hand.
Lon, if I made my living by guessing wild card hands, I'd be living under a bridge.
But a very nice bridge. You're batting over 400. O'D calls for $120,000.
Call from the big blind. I'm going to put him on B, a pocket pair. But frankly, I think he should have raised with it.
All right, heads up to the flop. 7, trade king. Mystery hand, O'D to act first. And he checks. Schwalek now. Missed the flop. but that's 225.
Continuation bet from Schwalek. OD could call here with any of the multiple choice hands. If he raises, then we've got to talk.
No raise, a check call.
Hoping he's got the sixes.
Turn card. There is a 6 on the turn.
He could have a set of sixes.
Perhaps. He checks. Schwalek checks.
I know nothing, so I will say nothing.
River card. And ace. There's a pair of aces now for Schwalek. Third hard on board.
If OD made a flush or has a set of sixes, he'll bet.
He checks a third time.
I guess OD might have a pair of sevens, but I don't know why he would have played 8-7 off to begin with.
Schwalek.
Schwalek decides to get busy rivering a pair of aces.
Got some purples and some greens. That totals $650,000.
Okay, this moment should finally define Mr. OD's hand.
It'll all crystallize right here. OD with more purple. A raise, a check raise to $1.6 million and change.
Oh, really? You mean he just sat on the nut flush or a set of sixes and knew he'd get a bet? What is he, a neurosurgeon? Wow.
I almost just checked the back.
OD hadn't made a peep the whole hand till the river check raise.
Schwalek lays his hand down. OD had 8-7 and bluffs his way to win the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand.
I was so confounded at every turn, I believe I deserved 2 losses for that hand. If Schwalek had checked, he would have won a $1 million chip pot. And of course, it goes without saying, OD is off my home game list. Great play.
The check raised by the Irishman at just the right moment. Schwalek saw so many reasons to fold. For more on the World Series of Poker, visit ESPN.com/poker. At an outer table, Mario Silvestri with pocket eights moved all in for $2 million. He was called by Qua Win with pocket queens. Then Frank Sinopoli moved all in with pocket aces, and Win called him.
Sinopoli in great position for a triple up.
Here's the flop, a queen in there. Win flops a set, putting a dagger in the hopes of Silvestri and Sinopoli.
And Win, 29-year-old pro and businessman from Calgary, now poised for a double knockout.
The turn card. Another queen. Win scores the double knockout with quads. Sinopoli out, Silvestri out.
Remember, Silvestri got that one-round penalty when he was short-stacked? And what an ugly finish for Florida pro Frankie Sinopoli.
So Qua Win adds $4.5 million to his store as he's knocking on the door of $11 million. Mario Silvestri out in 39th. Both he and Sinopoli, who is the 38th place finisher, will collect over $196,000. Qua Win now in 4th place in this main event. Ryan Lenahan, the current chip leader in the house with $15 million plus. Let's get back to the featured table where Lenahan sits right now. He folded. Action on Matt Giannetti right now with pocket queens.
Giannetti reminds me a bit of Tex Barch, who made the 05 main event final table. Very quiet, very steady.
A raise to $220,000. Stashko folds to Hilton Laborda on the button, sitting with almost $10 million. King 9 of clubs on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky hole cam.
You know, I read that in Brazil, foreign flags can only be flown with a Brazilian flag along its right side. So since we're here in Las Vegas, it seems to me that Martin Stashko should be wearing the American flag next to Laborda.
Espo folds a small ace from the small blind. Motino the same small ace folded from the big blind. So heads up. Giannetti with the queens, Laborda with king 9 suited. Here's the flop. It is queen 10-6 all clubs. Laborda with the flush. Giannetti flopped a set.
Action flop like in the movies.
My goodness.
Giannetti could go bust here.
A bet of $300,000.
Laborda with the second nut flush, and the jack of clubs would give him a straight flush. Laborda staring at Giannetti and trying to get a peek under the brim of the cap.
Hilton with a move forward with chips, perhaps trying to get some reaction from Giannetti, but Giannetti is oblivious.
Yeah, you can't go forward and then come back.
Yeah, forward motion, so Laborda has to just make the call.
He gets a slap on the wrist and makes the call. All right, turn card. 9 of diamonds. Laborda's still good, now a 4-1 favorite.
Did Giannetti even see the turn card?
I'm not sure about that. That longhorn cap is pulled down low. He checks this time. Laborda. Wow. Under 10 seconds, he bets 420,000.
Yeah, he's usually deliberate. Quickly makes a small bet. Giannetti might be thinking check raise. Laborda's got a great angle on Giannetti's chin.
Trying to get a look under the hat, as you mentioned, and get into the head of Giannetti. Giannetti makes the call. And Laborda seems unimpressed. All right, the river card. And that pairs the board, and that gives the hand back to Giannetti with queens full of nines.
Oh, my goodness.
And Giannetti checks again.
I've got to believe Laborda thinks his flush is still good. I would.
Laborda figuring out some bet that Giannetti would call, from his point of view at least. $2 million, and Hilton, you'd better duck.
Well, Laborda bets the size of the pot. Giannetti wondering how much more now he can get out of Laborda.
Giannetti has over $5.2 million behind. What a battle here.
All in.
And Giannetti pushes it all in.
This is for half of Hilton Laborda's remaining stack.
What could he have? What could he have?
Big pot. Big pot. Come.
There it is.
That's an 8-knuckle pot.
What's up? Yeah, I know exactly what he had. That's why I trapped him. Thank you.
Giannetti in second place now with almost $13 million.
$3,260,000.
Giannetti gets lucky. Laborda gets leveled.
Bring him the twos. Make sure that's
bad luck for Hilton Laborda after flopping that flush. He is now knocked down to almost 3.5 million chips. Matt Giannetti played the hand and his opponent to perfection, and now has a Texas-sized stack to show for it.
Well done, Longhorn.
Thank you, sir. All in.
Come.
Here we go now. I know exactly what he had. That's why I trapped him. Thank you.
Matt Giannetti just announced himself in a big way at this main event. For some analysis on that last hand, let's check in with Bill Hellmuth.
Wow. I cannot believe how badly Laborda played this hand on the river. What was he thinking? There's $2 million in the pot. He has a king-high flush. It's a strong hand, but the board is paired. Okay, so you bet $2 million at $2 million with a flush. I can't criticize that so much. I'd rather see him bet $1 million or a number his opponent could call if he doesn't have a flush. But now his opponent, a tight player, Giannetti, moves all in. And you call with a flush? Not even the nut flush with the board paired? Giannetti might not have even raised if he had 10-9. I mean, he probably had to have tens full or queens full to even put it all in like that. And you could see when Laborda called, he had his hand out like this, ready to fold it like, I'm going to give you $3.4 million, but I'm going to muck my hand because I know you have me beat. Fold it! Don't put $5.4 million into $2 million with a flush.
Hilton, tell the poker brat you're still sitting here and he's not. You know, even if he was right, Matt Giannetti is thankful.
To an outer table, Tony Hashem may have made his last play all in with 8-7 of diamonds, called by Kenny Shee with ace-jack. Here's the flop. And there's an ace. Bad news for Tony Hashem as Shee puts him on the brink.
And now there'd have to be runner-runner for the Hashem main event double to remain a possibility.
Turn card. Tray of spades, and that will settle things. Tony Hashem drawing dead, knocked out of the 2011 main event.
Tony Hashem's out of chips, and somewhere Ben Lamb is smiling.
37th place will give Tony some big bickies, as they say down under. $196,000, his best live tournament score. Kenny Shee with $2.5 million below chip average, but still one of the lucky 36 who have a seat in the main event.
Joe Hashem won it all in 05. Tony Hashem falls short with a deep run in 2011.
All right, back to the featured table, folded to Hilton Laborda. Some starch has gone out of that Brazilian flag and its bearer. Ace tray of clubs. A raise to $220,000.
Laborda wedded to the weak ace.
Laborda sitting with only about 2.5 million chips right now. Motino folds. Her boyfriend, Doc Sands, immediately to her left with King 10.
Speaking of wedded, if and when these two tie the knot, I'll say this. I've been around a lot of marriages, many of them my own, and this pair seems to have something special.
Sands lays it down. On the button, Ryan Lenahan folds to Matt Giannetti in the small blind. Giannetti with a couple of deuces.
After day one here, Giannetti's girlfriend told him she wanted to take a break from the relationship, and Matt says the main event is making him feel better about himself.
He makes the call with the deuces. Big blind Hewitt folds, so heads up once again, Giannetti and Laborda.
Generally, I turn to blackjack after my women walk out on me.
That's a lot of blackjack. 8-5-7, Giannetti's small pocket pair stands tall.
Check.
He checks.
Check.
Laborda checks. Turn card. The deuce of clubs, a set for Giannetti. Laborda picks up a straight flush draw. Giannetti.
You should have that straight flush draw alert flashing.
That's right.
Boy, how did Giannetti know Laborda would be taking a stab here?
Laborda bets 280,000.
280,000 is the bet.
Giannetti with a better than 3-to-1 advantage right now. And there's the raise to 675,000.
How much is that?
675 total. 675 total.
It appears to be 675 total.
Laborda with a big draw.
Call.
Will make that call.
Giannetti versus Laborda, round 2, and it's increasingly intriguing.
All right, the river card. The 7 of clubs pairs the board. Another boat for Giannetti. Another club flush. The nut flush for Laborda.
What a disaster card for Hilton Laborda. Giannetti's got him.
And Giannetti with a bigger stack now puts Laborda all in.
Laborda's got the nut flush. It was checked on the flop, then Giannetti check raised him on the turn. Suddenly this is for the rest of Laborda's chips. And I know we heard Phil Hellmuth mention Giannetti's a tight player, but I couldn't lay this down.
Perhaps the last drink for a dying man. And Laborda has to think he can't have it again, can he?
If he calls here, Hilton Laborda will fly at half-mast.
Call.
He does call, and that will end Laborda's main event. Giannetti does it again.
Bang, bang.
Wow. That's sick.
A stunning turn of events for Giannetti and for Laborda. Matt Giannetti is the new tournament chip leader.
Hilton Laborda was a chip leader earlier today, but 2 hands against Giannetti leave Laborda with no chips.
A promising day for the Brazilian turned ugly in a hurry.
Call.
Matt Giannetti now the man to beat with 35 players left.
With poker, like most things in life, to get better, you need to learn without taking too many hits. At PokerStars.com, you get more free tables and games at every level than any other poker site. Learn at your own pace till you're ready to make your move. Learn to play better poker for free at PokerStars.com and find the poker star in you.
2 Russians tangling at an outer table. That is Alexander Mozhnikov with pocket sevens. He was just re-raised by Andrei Patachuk with ace-king. And a re-raise all in from Mozhnikov for almost $5 million.
Patachuk has almost double the chip stack of Mozhnikov.
Patachuk plays mostly online, but his 10 million chip stack says he knows something about the nuances of the live game as well.
Absolutely. 5,000 short of 5 million, so 495.
Okay, cool.
Patachuk makes the call to put Mozhnikov at risk.
Patachuk 21, Mozhnikov 25. A race for a 10 million chip pot.
Here's the flop. Deuce 9-6, no ace, no king for Patachuk. Mozhnikov's pocket seven still ahead. Turn card is a 5. Mozhnikov still ahead.
One of those main event moments. Mozhnikov either will be among the chip leaders or he'll be out of here. He's got to dodge an ace or a king.
It is a tray, and Mozhnikov doubles up to 10.2 million. And Patachuk has his stack cut in half.
The Russians pretty much will swap chip stacks with that result.
Mozhnikov seems very pleased with himself, and why not?
You know, I spotted Mozhnikov fishing at the Venetian the other day.
Patachuk will be fishing for more chips after losing over $5 million in that hand. I'll look at some notable chip stacks. Hines with 5.2 million, Collins with almost 9 million, Ben Lamb working on 12 million. At the secondary feature table, Makievsky with pocket nines.
I rebut.
And look who's back. Ben Lamb.
Are you back?
But a little deeper. We'll add on to the side.
What? What was the deal?
I had it on and came back.
Lamb's a nice fella, but nobody at this table happy to see him and his chips back.
He wasn't even playing over there. He just stayed around.
I just hung in the back.
Back in his old seat next to Darkor. Darkor with Jack 10 suited.
Darkor usually doesn't don the hood until he's in a hand.
I heard you had the ace.
Makievsky opened the action to 250,000.
Right? So think how sick that is.
Yeah. And Darkor re-raises all in for over 1.7 million.
He was down to 17 big blinds.
Owen O.D. next.
Darkor, like Hilton Laborda, has seen a good day gone bad.
O.D. with a weak ace, folds. J.P. Kelly folds his big blind. Back to Makievsky.
1.725.
This would be for less than 1/3 of Makievsky's stack.
He calls to put Darkor at risk. After being such a strong player in the main event, the French businessman in danger of elimination.
The 21-year-old looking for the knockout. The 38-year-old amateur looking to extend his run.
Here's the flop with Darkor at risk. No diamonds or jack or 10 for Darkor.
Absolutely nothing good in that flop for Darkor.
Turn card now. Another deuce. Makievsky's still good, as that does nothing for Guillaume Darkor.
Darkor needs a jack or a 10 or he is whamboozled.
The river card, an 8, and Darkor comes up empty. Makievsky wins the last of Guillaume's chips.
Good game.
Darkor busted after a steady run into day 7.
His pink hair got him noticed at first, but his fine play kept him in the limelight. Great run.
Darkor won a WPT event and had a 3rd place finish in a World Series event last year. This 35th place betters those paydays. It's worth almost $243,000. Here on day 7, foreign citizenship did not bode well.
Oh my God.
Fabio Sosa was bounced, and Hilton Laborda was bounced around. Frenchman Guillaume Darkor cruised early, but saw red late. And under the radar, unassuming Matt Giannetti stole the chip lead and put his mark on this main event.
I know exactly what he had. That's why I'm trapping him.
For Norman Chad and Karascott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.